You're not broken because you feel nervous. You're not behind because you feel shaky. You're becoming. That's what fear tries to interrupt. So stop waiting for a day when you will feel completely fearless. That day doesn't exist, and not in reality. The goal isn't to eliminate fear, it's to disempower it. You can say to fear, yeah, I see you, I hear you, but you're not driving this time. Okay? Welcome to the Shattered Mindset Podcast. Wisdom from life's turning points and defining moments. You ever had a moment where everything around you just stopped making sense? Well, where the facts didn't add up, the plan didn't hold, and the people you were depending on, they just weren't there? Yeah, me too. This episode, this one right here, is for you if you've ever felt like you were walking through fog, trying to move forward, but unsure if the next step would land on solid ground or drop off into nothingness. We're calling this one faith, fear, and forward motion. What moves you when nothing makes sense? And today I want to talk to the part of you that's still moving forward, even if you don't know where the finish line is. Okay. I'm Melvin Larry, and I'm excited to be here with you. But what happens when clarity is missing? Look, clarity is beautiful, but be honest, it's not always available. Sometimes you don't get the blueprint. Sometimes you just get the burden. And in those moments, most people pause, some even panic, but a few people take the next step anyway. Not because they know what's ahead, but because they refuse to stay stuck in what's behind. Listen, when I stepped out of corporate management into entrepreneurship, I didn't have a map of what was ahead of me. I didn't know what the next step would be. I mean, I knew what my plan was, but I didn't know what was waiting for me. When I walked away from that paycheck and when I walked into if it is to be, it is up to me situation, when I didn't have all of the structure that I had in my corporate management position, when I had to figure things out. I didn't have just to know that, okay, hey, listen, next week I'm going to get paid, or at the end of the month, or the end of the whatever. I didn't have all of that. Okay. And that's when you realize what faith is and what it's not. Okay. Faith is not fantasy. Faith isn't ignoring facts. Faith is moving despite the facts, because something inside you refuses to die in confusion. And let's not anchor this with what the uh, people say. Let's just anchor it in something the Bible says in Hebrews 11 and 1. It says, now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. See, that word substance means faith has weight. Weight. It's not thin air. It's the foundation under your hope. And evidence, that means your belief already has a case built, even when you can't see the outcome yet. So faith isn't blind, it's bold. It doesn't say, I don't see it and stop. It says, I may not see it yet, but I believe enough to move. This isn't pretending that the struggle isn't real. It's just refusing to bow to it. This is the kind of faith you draw on when logic runs out, but your assignment won't let you sit still. And also fear. Fear isn't the enemy. Stagnation is. Let's not demonize fear so much. Fear is part of the package. It means you're alive. It means you care. And it means you're aware. Now, I want to bring in something powerful from the book, Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway by Susan Jeffers. She says, the fear will never go away as long as I continue to grow. How about that? Whew. That hit me hard the first time I read it. We want it to go away, but we often think we have to get rid of fear before we act. But Jeffers flips that. She's saying growth and fear go hand in hand. You're not broken because you feel nervous. You're not behind because you feel shaky. You're becoming. That's what fear tries to interrupt. Jeffers also teaches that life changing idea. Every time you take a step forward, fear comes along for the ride. Ever notice that? So stop waiting for a day when you will feel completely fearless. That day doesn't exist, and not in reality. The goal isn't to eliminate fear, it's to disempower it. You can say to fear, yeah, I see you, I hear you, but you're not driving this time. Okay? What's dangerous isn't fear, it's stuckness. That silent agreement we make with fear when we choose not to act. And if we're not careful, we'll disguise stagnation as wisdom and call it being responsible. But deep down, it's just delay wearing a disguise. And as we move, we have to realize that forward motion looks different for everyone. Here's something we don't say enough: forward doesn't always mean fast. Sometimes forward is quiet, it's deliberate, it's eternal or internal, let me say. This reminds me of something powerful from the book, The Magic of Thinking Big by Dr. David J. Schwartz. He says, action cures fear. Action cures fear. That's it right there. When you move, even a little, you interrupt fear's power. He also says, when you believe something can be done, really believe, your mind will find the ways to do it. You don't need a miracle every morning. You need momentum. So let's make this practical. Forward might be making the call you've been putting off. Forward might be having the hard conversation. Forward might be recommitting to your routine. It might be putting some systems in place or just choosing not to quit today. You don't have to leap, you just have to move. Some people are drained right now, not from action, but from inaction. Wow. From too much analyzing, overanalyzing, from being stuck in their head without putting anything in motion. You were built to move, and every small step you take builds belief, builds clarity, builds confidence. That's forward motion. Even when nothing makes sense, you still have a choice. Right now, you might be in a season where nothing makes sense. Okay? You're doing your best, but results aren't showing up. You're sowing seeds, but harvest feels late. You're pouring out to others and feel like no one sees you. Listen, I see you, and I need you to hear this. You're not invisible. You're not crazy for believing in more. You are not weak for feeling tired, but you are powerful for deciding to keep going anyway. Your motivation might be hiding. Sometimes we think we've lost our motivation, okay? But what we've really lost is connection to our why and commitment to a system or a process. So pause for a second. Why does moving forward matter to you? Who benefits from your courage? What future is waiting on you and your next step? Reconnect to that, all right? Let that fuel your next motion. Not hype, not noise, just alignment. Here's a word for the man in the middle, okay? To my brother out there, the man in the middle of it all, leading, holding it together, showing up even when you're running on empty. I'm not talking to your title, I'm talking to your truth. You're the one people always come to when they're unsure. But who do you turn to when you don't have the answers? Maybe that's why you're here today. Okay? Not for a pep talk, but for a moment of realignment. Let this be the moment you remember. You don't need all the answers to take the next step. No, 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 no. You just need the strength to move. Sometimes you just need to put faith in action, small but strong steps. You don't build momentum by thinking harder. You build it by moving smarter. It might look like writing the plan, even if it's imperfect. Just write. Reaching out to someone you trust, revisiting that dream with a clearer lens, praying and preparing. Look, God can do amazing things, but He tends to work through movement, not maintenance. I want to encourage you and challenge you. What moves you when nothing makes sense? If it's fear, pause and ask why. If it's faith, lean into it. And if it's something deeper than both, your assignment, your calling, your purpose, then lace up and take that step. Because even in the fog, forward is still forward. Remember, faith isn't about knowing the whole picture, it's about trusting the next step matters. And trust me, it really does. So, look, listen, if this episode spoke to you in any way, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who might need to hear it today. Leave a comment. Let me know your biggest takeaway and be sure to like and definitely subscribe so you never miss another episode. You can also listen to the past episodes of the Shattered Mindset podcast on Buzzsprout, watch more on YouTube and all the other major platforms. But until next time, keep adapting, keep moving, even if it doesn't make sense. Take care to keep going forward. Take charge. God bless. We'll see you the next time on the Shattered Mindset podcast.